shot, dude! Oh my god! Oh my god, he just shot him!
Tonight, newly released cell phone video of what authorities are calling a heroic shooting.
Bro, he's about to fire, dude.
A Florida deputy badly beaten and pinned to the ground last November by a suspect who reportedly pulled the officer from his patrol car.
He has a gun. Oh my god, he's about to fire.
According to police reports, the bystander, Ashad Russell, began yelling for the suspect to get off of the deputy. He doesn't, and the officer, fearing for his life, tells Russell, please shoot him. That's when he fires, striking the man.
He just shot, dude! Oh my god! Oh my god, he just shot him!
Officer Dean Bards then breaking free. Russell dropping his gun as he walks away. Another bystander congratulating him. The suspect, identified as Edward Strother, later died. Officials say Russell had a permit to carry the weapon and will not face charges.
New indictments tonight in one of the worst corruption scandals in U.S. Navy history. 9 officers, including a retired admiral now, charged in a scheme to trade classified information in exchange for bribes, lavish parties, and sexual favors.
Tonight, a growing and sordid bribery scandal for the Navy. 9 current and former officers accused of swapping secrets for lavish meals, hotel rooms, and parties with prostitutes. The highest ranking, Rear Admiral Bruce Loveless, now retired, a former intelligence officer for the 7th Fleet. Prosecutors say defense contractor Leonard Francis, nicknamed Fat Leonard, seen in a photo on a Navy League website, bribed his so-called wolf pack of officers in exchange for classified information and preferential access for his company servicing ships in the Pacific.
This is a level of corruption and rot that is unprecedented in the history of the United States Navy.
One dinner bill in Hong Kong topping $20,000. Another raunchy party allegedly held at the MacArthur Suite in Manila, seen here on the hotel's website. All the while, prosecutors say the company was overcharging, bilking the Navy out of tens of millions of dollars.
There's a new star in town, and he's not your usual Hollywood heartthrob. Robo-Thespian is, as his name suggests, a robot, and he's the lead in an unconventional new play on in London.
It's a story about a robot maker who builds, all his life he builds robots. He develops a degenerative illness in midlife and realizes he's not going to live to remain a companion to his wife. His wife by now is developing early Alzheimer's. So he builds his final creation, his final robot, to be a companion to his wife.
Actress Judy Norman plays opposite Robo-Thespian. She spends most of the play talking to the robot and even shares a kiss with him.
When he looks at me, it's going to sound weird, but he's very affectionate, and I like him. I really like him.
The play poses big questions about love, death, technology, and even the future of acting.
Sure, of course I think there's a future. I mean, this show has proved to me that really working with a robot is seriously not that different than working with a normal actor.
To the index of other news tonight and new fallout from the scandal rocking USA Gymnastics. The group's president and CEO Steve Penny resigning today amid claims he was slow to react to widespread sex abuse allegations. Almost 80 women and girls accusing former team doctor Larry Nassar of abuse. The Indianapolis Star reporting more than 360 claims of gymnasts accusing coaches of sexual misconduct over 20 years.
Thousands of Bangladeshi Muslims are leaving behind Allah and choosing Jesus. Bangladesh is the 4th largest Muslim nation in the entire world. Close to 20,000 Muslims have converted to Christianity in the last 2 years. Sources on the ground say people are converting so quickly, one day it could become a Christian nation. CBN News recently spoke to Jim Jacobson from Christian Freedom International to talk more about the situation.
That Bangladesh is on the path to becoming a Christian nation in our lifetime, because you see it growing, house churches where one pastor is pastoring 5 or 6 churches. A pastor colleague who used to be a police officer told me that in the Hill Tribe areas, that over the past 2 years, some 20,000 Muslims have converted to Christianity. And that's just one example, one story, one testimony. And so something is going on, and it's like a wildfire.
Jacobson added many Muslim converts face violent persecution and rejection from their families, but say they refuse to give up their new faith.
So this is my grandmother.
And she had it.
She had it, yeah.
Most of the time, Jocelyn Linder doesn't mind discussing the genetic illness that runs through her family, attacking a vein in the liver.
So my grandmother passed it to 2 sons and watched 2 sons die of this gene.
But she wouldn't want a boss to know the details of her family tree.
How do you think you would feel if an employer said, we want to see your genetic tests, or we're going to charge you 30% more for health insurance?
I think it would feel like a penalty.
But what Linder calls a penalty, North Carolina Congresswoman Virginia Foxx sees as motivation. She introduced a bill that would allow companies to offer insurance premium discounts to workers who undergo genetic testing as part of a workplace wellness program.
If they don't participate in the wellness program, their premium is going to be the same as everyone else.
With the exception of the people who participate in the program.
Well, it's an incentive to participate in the program.
It's hard to imagine a good reason for wanting this information.
Nancy Cox is president of the American Society of Human Genetics. In a letter to Congress, her organization and dozens of others said the bill would impose draconian penalties on employees. Federal law bans companies from using genetic information to hire, fire, or discriminate, but critics say a simple blood or saliva test could eventually reveal so much about a person's health and abilities that the urge to peek might be irresistible.
There are possibilities for misusing genetic information that make it very important for this information to be private.
Were you surprised when you saw the opposition to this bill?
We are totally surprised.
Representative Foxx points to the benefits of companies engaging in workers' health.
It will save people money, and it also will help them achieve a better quality of life.
Most large companies offer wellness programs, which are supposed to encourage healthy living, prevent disease, and lower health costs. But Jocelyn Linder doesn't think she'd ever join one if it meant handing over her genetic information.
I think all of us deserve our privacy, and I think all of us deserve health care.
The Blitz is on, and it didn't take long for the deep state to put its full weight into the counteroffensive needed to attempt to offset the damage to public trust after WikiLeaks exposed catastrophic levels of the CIA's cyber warfare arsenal. As The Hill wrote, at issue is the CIA's purported strategy of keeping a database of stolen malware produced by other countries, including Russia, with umbrage and related projects. The CIA can not only increase its total number of attack types, but also misdirect attribution by leaving behind the fingerprints of the groups that the attack techniques were stolen from. Yet it's a full court press to expose Russian hacking involvement, not the CIA.
We're here to announce a major law enforcement action related to one of the largest data breaches in U.S. history. Today, we are announcing the indictment of 4 individuals responsible for the 2014 hack into the network of email provider Yahoo, the theft of information about at least 500 million Yahoo accounts, and the use of that information to obtain the contents of accounts at Yahoo and other email providers. The defendants include 2 officers of the Russian Federal Security Service, an intelligence and law enforcement agency of the Russian Federation, and 2 criminal hackers with whom they conspired to accomplish these intrusions.
Meanwhile, Roger Stone, now being regarded as a central character connected to the WikiLeaks exposure of the CIA, is being targeted.
With respect to Roger Stone, we have a U.S. person affiliated with the campaign who has now said publicly that he had communications I think first he said with Julian Assange, and then he said after that with a intermediary to Mr. Assange or WikiLeaks, and has now acknowledged having communication with Guccifer 2, which the intelligence community views as essentially a Russian cutout. And obviously these two platforms were used to publish documents damaging to Secretary Clinton and helpful to Donald Trump. So I'll tell you, that concerns me a great deal.
Propaganda, espionage, blackmail, subversion. The 21st century versions of these are fake news, hacking, compromat, and political capture. The Russians have been at this for a long time. Last month at the Munich Security Conference, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov didn't mince words about his country's intentions when he looked forward to the creation of a post-West world order.
Mr. Whitehouse's very statement is fake news on its face, as Mr. Lavrov's explanation of a post-West world order is far more complex and diplomatic than what was presented by Mr. Whitehouse to the American people. He said he hoped responsible leaders will choose to create a just world order, if you want to call it a post-West world order, essentially an end to the deep state's global pillaging. We are witnessing a full-scale public war of Russian and American spy agencies, emboldened by the 2013 legalization of propaganda upon the American people, and the deep state mouthpieces attempting to hijack what may become historic hearings on Capitol Hill in the coming weeks ahead.